The first question was from Tom. He says, my results with SEO have been flat for months, and I don't know why. I rank on page one, and I'm in the map or the three pack for my main keywords. Last year was really good, but I'm losing faith and I'm pretty close to throwing in the towel. Any tips on what I can do as a last effort? Well, so Tom, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. You say that your SEO has been flat, but you say you're ranking. So I'm not sure what you mean. Does that mean um, like you've hit kind of like a ceiling that you just can't break past? Like in other words, in maybe this is just an example, but like position 5 in organic and position 3 in the maps, and you just can't break past that. Is that the issue, or is it that you're ranking but it's not generating nearly as many leads as it used to? Because I know both of those can occur, both of those situations, right? Specifically more recently, because of all the way that Google constantly is changing the search results pages now with generative search, also with paid ads, paid, Google paid listings, either Google guaranteed ads, regular search ads. Now there's paid ads in the Maps pack. Like literally non-paid Google listings are, organic and Maps listings that aren't paid. They're pushed below the fold for most local search queries now. And so I've experienced the same thing where it's kind of a declining amount of leads, even when the projects or the campaigns are performing really, really well in search, meaning can be ranked at the top of Maps and ranked at the top of organic both, and still overall lead volume has declined. And a lot, and unless we're also advertising in Google Ads, and then it kind of, if you are doing well in search as far as SEO and also in Google Ads, then you're basically covering all bases, and that, but then you're spending also money on Google Ads. So the point that I'm trying to make is, because of the way the search results have changed so much recently, and they're constantly changing, non-paid results are getting pushed further and further down the page, which means if you're not focused, if all you're focusing on is non-paid stuff, so through SEO, that it's likely that you're going to have a declining result from, leads, etc. And that's not across, as far as I know, it's not across every industry, but in a lot of local industries, we see that a lot, where paid results are like pretty much take up everything above the fold. It's unbelievable, honestly, but it's Google. What would you expect from Google? So if it's that you're at kind of like hit a glass ceiling as you just can't break through or whatever, well, I mean, there's so many variables that it's really too hard to give you. I can give you a couple of things that you could look for, but look at your backlink profile, look at your site structure of your website. Also look at how your Google business profile is optimized and the page that it is linking to, which is what I call the location landing page. So whatever the website URL is that you put in the GBP as the website, that is the landing page, the location landing page. And so the location landing page should provide, as Ted Kubitis said, agreement. I always called it corroborate. It should corroborate the data. In other words, the location landing page should corroborate how the GBP is optimized, or provide agreement with how the GBP is optimized. So I've been doing a lot of testing with that recently, and I discovered some really interesting things that improve performance considerably. And that is, you can significantly reduce it. First of all, even for single location businesses, guys, I do not recommend, especially for service area businesses. Let me rephrase that. For single location service area businesses, which is what I work with almost exclusively, and well, in my own agency, and have for almost my entire career, worked with service area businesses. Very, very rarely have I ever worked with a storefront business. And so even for single location service area businesses, I don't recommend linking to the homepage URL anymore from the GBP. I swear to God. And I've done a lot of testing with this recently, guys. You should have a dedicated location landing page, because if it's a service area business, they are likely or generally service a large area, not just the city that they're in. And so why would you link to a homepage that then so this is kind of what I see when auditing properties all the time now. And I mean, this is common. It's because this is kind of standard operating procedure. How most local businesses do it is they just link to their homepage from the GBP. But what I'm saying is, think about how, like, what is the service area of the business, right? So if it's a tree service contractor, for example, that covers like 3 counties, which is common, well, let's just use one county. Let's just use one county as an example, just to keep it simple. And I'll demonstrate some examples here today because we have plenty of time. We don't have a lot of questions. So what I like to do is like make the homepage optimized for the brand first, by the way. Most of you that are doing local SEO, and right now, go out and check most of your campaigns, your clients' campaigns. Look at the SEO title of the homepage of most of the local business websites and campaigns that you work on. What does the SEO title of the homepage say? Seriously, like go pull up your client list and just go start poking around and looking at that. I pretty much can promise that the majority of local businesses, the homepage URLs are not optimized for their brand first. They're optimized for keywords. That's in my opinion, that's just ridiculous. I used to do it too, but Google rewards brands, and the homepage of the website should be the brand page first and foremost. Before anything else, it should be optimized for the brand, not keywords, not locations, the brand, right? Because it's the homepage of the website, the homepage of the brand. So make it a brand page, guys. But what I'm saying is, if it's a service area business, let's just use one county, a tree service contractor, or any kind of contractor for that matter, any kind of service area business. But I obviously always talk in the context of tree service contractors because that's what I work with. But if a tree service contractor services one county and there's 10 cities in the county, and they link to the homepage, then they're usually going to optimize the homepage for keyword tree service or tree services or whatever and they're going to reference the area or multiple cities in their SEO title. I see that a lot too. We service and Fairfax and Vienna and Oakton and all these different kind of like cities that are in that county, that and they try to squeeze all that in the SEO title or something. I see that a lot. Or they'll try to reference the region. So like in Northern Virginia, or the Fairfax County is in Northern Virginia. So maybe they'll say tree service contractor in Northern Virginia. But if the homepage URL is the location landing page, the location landing page should provide agreement, right? Corroborate how the GBP is optimized. Well, the GBP is not going to be registered or physically located in a region. It's not going to be physically located in a county. It doesn't have a county address. It has a city address. So the location landing page should provide agreement with where the Google Business Profile is physically located. You should also optimize for the top level category term, especially if it's a multi-category type of business. You should try to figure out what is the broadest kind of category term and optimize for that on the homepage. What I'm trying to get at, guys, here is you should set the stage for what you're telling Google about what the company does, where they do it, who the company is, what they do, and where they do it. It's called a semantic triplet, right? Who the company is, what they do, where they do it. So on the homepage, it should lead with the brand first. Then it should tell the broadest kind of topic or category describer of what the company does. It doesn't have to be specifically an entity. It doesn't have to be specifically a Google business category on the homepage. If you're using a dedicated location landing page instead, an inner page that is optimized for the specific location that the GBP is located in. Again, remember the context in which I'm talking about is a service area business that has one Google business profile, but services multiple areas, like multiple cities within a service area. So instead of linking to the homepage and then sending mixed signals to Google, because the Google business profile is located in one city, but then you're trying to tell Google through the location landing page that you service all these other areas and blah, blah, blah. It's not providing agreement. So it causes the Google map to not perform as well as it could. And I know for a fact, because I've been testing this a lot lately. And so if you just change the location landing page URL from the home page to a dedicated page that is optimized for the specific city that the GBP is registered in, physically located in, then you can broaden what the rest of the site is about, because then you can use the home page for brand first, which you should. Then again, a description or a call to action or something that describes what the company does. Again, who the company is, what they do, where they do it, right? So what they do, it doesn't have to be keyword based or topic or entity or category based. It doesn't have to be just a description of what the company does and a kind of short, succinct description. And it can be kind of with an advertising copy flair to it. So that's why I call it a call to action. So I do brand, CTA, region. Like, in other words, again, semantic triplet, I always kind of do all my SEO titles that way. In some cases, depending on what kind of page it is, we will append the brand name instead of prepend it. But in any case, it's always those three things: the company, what they do, where they do it, right? So that's how I optimize all the SEO titles of every one of my pages. Now, I'm not talking about posts and things like that. That's different. Top level pages. So what I'm saying is the homepage should say brand, what they do. Again, it can be just a describer or some kind of like advertising copy, so it's compelling. That's why I call it a CTA. And then lastly, the region. What is the broadest geographic region? That's the location entity that all of the service areas are within, right? Contained within. So like I mentioned before, if it's a county, it's simple. You just reference the county on the homepage. And then you can have city pages for each of the cities, towns, unincorporated communities, census designated places, etc., that are within that county. And that's how you create location pages. But now, don't you understand that the homepage is now optimized for the brand, what they do and where they do it, the broadest geographic region. And now the dedicated location landing page should be specifically optimized to provide agreement with how the GBP is optimized. So that is optimizing for the brand, the primary Google business category, or the broadest category, if you can find one that is kind of all inclusive of the additional categories. Sometimes that's a bit tricky. And then lastly, the actual city and state, or the location entity as it is referenced in Wikipedia, is the way that I like to do it. So again, like, let me just give you guys some demonstrations here. Now, I don't have a GBP for this project, but I can give you some examples of, I was actually just working on the Louisville Grim Reaper Tree Services WordPress site. I just spent 6 hours today optimizing this site, different elements of the site to make it better optimized, and it already ranks really, really well. But let me just give you guys an example. This is a buckenin.fellingpro. This is a site with the kind of structure that I'm demonstrating here. Now, this particular one was one of the sites I was using for testing structure. But this type of a structure performs incredibly well, and a Google Business Profile can be integrated into this type of a structure. But this will demonstrate specifically what it is that I'm talking about today, guys. So this is Buckenin Felling Pro, is the brand name that I created for this site. This was, again, a test site. But that is Buchanan County, Virginia. I know people were like, "Oh, it's Buchanan." No, it's not. It looks like it would be Buchanan, but if you say Buchanan down there, everybody looks at you like you're from outer space. It's Buchanan County. But Buchanan County, Virginia, very low competition area, guys. This whole purpose of this site was to prove how well structure helps SEO, right? So anyways, this page here is optimized. The homepage is optimized for, look at the title, right? Brand, who we are, what we do, where we do it. If I can get it to come up again. Okay. Buchanan Felling Pro, Tree Service, and Buchanan County, Virginia, right? So this page here is optimized for the brand first, then obviously tree services, so general tree service, and then lastly, Buchanan County, Virginia. Well, now all of these service areas here are cities that are within Buchanan County, Virginia. So if I were to have, by the way, if I was going to get a GBP for this project, I would get it in Grundy, because Grundy is the most populous area of these five, and it's not very populous nonetheless, because it's a very rural area. That's where I have property that I'm having developed. That's why part of the reason I built the site down there. It's very low competition, very rural area. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if I was going to get a GBP, it would be in Grundy. So I wouldn't link to the home page for this from the GBP. I would link to the Grundy page, because that would be where the GBP would be physically located or registered to, if that makes sense. So that way you can broaden up what the business or the site is about, but you're providing agreement from the GBP to optimize for where the Google Business Profile is physically located. So in that case, I would then optimize for Tree Service Grundy, or Grundy Tree Service, one of those kind of combinations, and then the brand, right? And again, that provides agreement with how the GBP is optimized. So why I bring that up is because, take a look at your sites, guys. I've started testing a lot with this, and started recommending this to clients, and been having people report back and saying they're seeing significant results, positive movement right after the changes get indexed, recrawled by Google and indexed. And so why I'm saying that is because there's a number of things, guys, that kind of local SEO has changed more in the last 2 years than it had in the previous 10, in my opinion. I've seen so many changes that it's kind of hard to keep up with. But one of the things that I found was, again, through a lot of testing, was this type of a site structure with or without a GBP performs incredibly well. And just to demonstrate that, let me pause the screen for 1 minute and I'll show you guys 100% proof of this. And then I'll come back and answer a couple other questions about that, or go in a little bit more detail about other things you can look at. But site structure right now, there's 3 things that you should really be looking at, guys. And let me open this up. Resume. Okay. So here's that site, guys. Buchanan Felling Pro. All right. Look at this, guys. I've got 96 out of 96 keywords in the top 3. Look at this. So again, this is all about structure. And to demonstrate, let me pause 1 more minute. If I can get Zoom to cooperate, I'm going to open up Majestic. And we're going to go take a look at the backlink profile for this. And then I'll resume share. So give me 1 second. Just want you guys to see I'm not lying. There's no black hattery here. There's no black magic going on. This is straight up structure and pay. There's 3 things. Okay, I'm going to resume share now. There's 3 things that you should be focusing on in local SEO right now, specifically on page. Okay, and then there's a ton of off-page stuff that you can focus on. But there's 3 things you should be focusing on: page structure, site structure, internal linking. Full stop. Not content, not for local SEO, guys. Unless you're in super competitive industries, it's not the content that you should be focusing on. It's page structure, site structure, internal linking. I'm not kidding. Guys, I can rank sites right now with very little content, but the page structure is proper, meaning the URL, SEO title, meta description, the page title, which is the H1, and the headings. If I can get those right, I can rank. And that's, first of all, step 1 is page structure. Step 2 is site structure. How do you integrate that page into a proper site structure? And then the internal linking within those structures is what connects everything together. And right now, I can rank websites with proper structure, page structure, site structure, and internal linking with very little to no content at all on the pages. And it will outrank sites that have 3,000 word articles because the site structure sucks, the internal linking sucks, and the page structure sucks. I'm telling you right now, guys, full stop. Those are the 3 most important things for local SEO right now: page structure, site structure, internal linking. And if you nail that, it makes everything so much easier. You don't need near as much content. You don't need near as many links. You will get significantly better results. Okay. And here's an example of that, guys. Again, look at this, guys. This is 48 keywords because we're tracking 48 keywords in desktop search and mobile search. So it's 48 keywords. All 48 or 96 combined are in the top 3. And let's go take a and look at this. If you guys, again, guys, this is a low competition area. I get it, but this was specifically set up to show you how well this type of a structure performs. And it's not any one component that did this. It's those 3 things together. Okay. And so let's go take a look at the backlinks, guys. There are 2 backlinks pointing to this. And if we actually go take a look at the backlink profile, they're deleted. Well, the homepage link from Tree Care HQ is deleted. There is an interpage link because we have a directory listing, but the other link is gone. So this literally has 1 freaking backlink to it, guys. 1 backlink, and that's from my directory site. And look at the results. See? Now here's another one, just to show you guys. Here's another example. This is the same exact site structure in a more competitive area. Okay. So this one here, I built, I think, total 6, maybe 7 links to this in total. And then I stopped for the last month or 5 or 6 weeks. It's been a while since I built any links to this because I wanted to see where it would stabilize in the search results without doing anything else to it. And you can see, again, look at this. Like this, it fluctuates a little bit here and there, but it stabilized about three weeks ago, maybe even closer to a month ago now. And it's been hovering right around this average rank position of 12 with basically, again, no backlinks. This is the same structure. Exact same internal linking structure, page structure, site structure, and internal linking, the exact same. Okay. But look at all these keywords ranking, right? And again, if we come back over here, just to show you the same thing, we're going to go look at that one. I think there's 6, maybe 7 backlinks pointing to it. Yeah. 7 referring domains, 7 referring domains. Okay. And this one, again, and I stopped building links to this. I only built a handful of links to it originally, and then I stopped because I wanted to see where it would finally kind of settle into the search results without doing anything else. And then now that I'm back in Virginia, I am going to start building links to this to push it up. But again, I'm showing you guys this because that's the first thing I would look at, number one. But then you can also look at the backlink profile. You can look at your topical relevance. You can look at look at your backlink profile and see, can you identify where you can find links that have geographic relevance? Because links with topical relevance have more of an influence on organic ranking, a slight influence on maps. But if you can get links with geographic relevance, meaning links from local sources, right? So from other businesses, associations, organizations, institutions, et cetera, and the same general physical area, that's going to help the map to rank better too. But again, it's not just about links and it's not just about site structure. It's also how do you connect the two together, Google Business Profile and the money site, the self-hosted site. Because again, guys, if you're linking to the wrong page that is not corroborating the data specifically from the GBP, then you're sending mixed signals to Google, and it won't ever perform as well in maps as it could as if you provided agreement between the location landing page and the GBP. And again, Ted Kubitis used the word agreement, and I love it. So I always want to try to give him credit whenever I repeat that. I always say corroborate, but they mean the same thing. Okay. And so that was number one, as far as like, what would I do? I would start analyzing those different components, but I would start, guys, I'm not kidding. First and foremost, I would start with restructuring pages and sites and internal linking, because I've seen significant improvements. I do a ton of audits and consulting now. I do almost as much consulting now as I do done for you services. I'm not kidding. I get hired to do consulting all the time now to analyze and do audits and provide recommendations for site structure and all that kind of stuff. And so I know that this works now across a lot of other industries, not just the tree service industry or service area businesses. I know it because I've been consulting with a lot of people and providing these kind of recommendations. And then they come back and report back and say, oh man, we're seeing significant improvements. And again, guys, that's all on page stuff. It doesn't require links. But here's the other part of that. Okay, let's go back now and cover the other part of this, guys. The whole so I've covered kind of site structure, a little bit, right? Page structure. And let me demonstrate this, guys. See, I was working on this actually earlier today. 6 hours I worked on that Louisville Grim Reaper Tree Services site because I'm trying to prepare a clone file for our mastermind and an SOP. Anyway, these are for page structure. Let's go ahead and hope you guys are all right with me doing some more training today instead of a bunch of questions. But these are the elements that are in the order of priority, according to my testing, that we should be optimizing for at the page level first. We'll talk about site structure next, and then we'll talk about internal linking third. Okay, so URL, then the SEO title, then the meta description. This is the order in which the Googlebot discovers a page and then crawls the page, right? And it always finds it through the URL first. That's how the Googlebot gets to the page. It's the URL. That's always the first touch point. Okay, so meta description, then we have the page title, which is the H1. Okay, and then we have headings is all together, but I like to separate it into headings and subheadings. Okay, headings are H2s. Okay, you can put this all on one line, but I like to separate it into headings and subheadings, which are H3s. Okay, I'm getting to a point here, guys, I promise. H3s. Then I think then there's two others. There's media and content, and I put those in parallel now. Okay, so what I mean is you can optimize media elements, so like iframes, images, embeds, whatever, that kind of stuff. Okay, and in content. So in order of priority, what we should be optimizing and kind of how the bot reads stuff too is URL first, then SEO title, then meta description, page title, then the headings, which include subheadings, because subheadings should support their headings, right? H2s. Here's another thing that I found a lot recently. There's a lot of websites that have terrible page structure because they use H tags for styling instead of for SEO. Why? Why would you use H tags for styling elements of a page when that hurts the structure of the page? And I see that all the time. I've been guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong. I've caught some sites where that was done and I did it. And I've been recently going back and fixing that because, again, I'm telling you guys, this is so important. Page structure, but page structure a year ago, page structure was incredibly important and you could do very well in search by just having really good page structure, but might have poor site structure, poor internal linking, but you could still rank individual pages quite well if the structure was done right. But now, because of the helpful content update, I've seen that they're really married together in that you can have a page that's optimized really well, or multiple pages on the site that are optimized really well. But if the site structure is shit and the internal linking is shit, those pages aren't going to rank very well no matter what. And so they're all kind of combined now. And that's why I'm saying, guys, this is really important. But what I'm saying here, guys, is look at the last two elements. Those are the ones that are the least important for local search is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other examples out there where people can say, oh, you're wrong about that. Fine. I'm talking about for local search. For local search, these are the least important elements. Maybe in the most competitive industries, that is a lot more important. But in the industries that I work in, these are the least important of all these other things. These are by far more important than media or content on the page. I'm telling you, I've done some testing with this and been able to rank pages with little to no content at all because of the structure is done well, right? So that's where I would start, number one. But then, and again, like here's an example, guys. Let me just show you because like I said, I was working on this one all day for 6 hours today. Sorry, let me get back over here. That's this one. Louisville Grim Reaper Tree Services. This is a WordPress site. I do most of my sites in high level now, believe it or not. I prefer it because there's no hosting, there's no security or hacking issues, there's no WordPress updates. Every time I fucking log into WordPress, there's 15 updates like every day. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of it. So I'm just getting tired of WordPress, but I don't want to use WordPress anymore. I swear to God. But we got a lot of people in our mastermind that don't use high level. So I have to also have a WordPress version of this type of a template and structure, etc. And so here's an example of what I'm talking about, guys. Let's just go, oh, you know what? I got to do this in Chrome because I've got the SEO Pro extension where I can demonstrate this. But I want you guys to see something, all right? Let's take a look at this. If we look at this with the SEO Pro extension, look at the structure of the headings on the homepage. You can go to every single page on the site, and you'll see that they are done properly. We're not using heading tags for styling. We're using heading tags to support the topic, the theme of the page, not for styling. And again, guys, I've been pointing this out to several people that have ordered audits from me in the last few weeks because I go in and I'm analyzing now not just backlinks, and when I do local SEO audits, there's 4 components that I analyze. The entity analysis is always first. Then I do the on-page optimization analysis for the self-hosted site, then the on-page optimization analysis for the GBP, and then lastly, off-page analysis, which is essentially backlinks, and that's my competitive link analysis reports that I do. And so those are the 4 things. But more recently, I've also started to include page structure analysis because I've started noticing that a lot of SEOs are doing terrible. I mean, it's like, guys, go get On-Page SEO for Dummies, the book. Swear to God, and read it, and like eat it, live it, breathe it, whatever. Like that. These are foundational SEO principles that have never changed. Right? Simple stuff like just page structure, using H tags properly, etc. That is made a resurgence as being incredibly important, according to my testing. Okay. And so again, if you look at these H tags here, guys, the hierarchy of them is done very well. Okay. And I actually worked on this today a lot. Let me just give you another example. Okay. Here's another. So here's that site, by the way. And this site has been performing well for 2 years, and I really never did anything with it. We can go take a look, backlink profile of that one as well. This site ranks really well. Well, here's an exact duplicate of it, but done in high level. But here's an example of what I mean by very poor page structure. And this was my fault. I built this site. But this was before we could actually optimize the individual elements of the site in high-level sites. Take a look at this one. So we'll go to the homepage on this one, and let's look at the SEO. Look at this, guys. There's 5 H1s on this page, 17 H2s, 28 H3s, and let's go look at the headings. You think that's good for SEO? Look at the headings, guys. Look at this. Do you think that's good for SEO? No. And yet the site still performs okay. But here's another example I just showed you guys of the Buchanan Felling Pro site, right? So again, you guys, you see how it's all the same structure. I played around with different SEO title formats, H1 formats, stuff like that. I played around with a lot with different, but once I nailed this structure, then I just started testing different configurations within that structure to see what performs best. This is it right here, this type. Now I've still got a couple other tests going on about instead of optimizing for the county and then all the supporting location pages are within the county, you can optimize for a region, and then the supporting location pages are big cities within a region. I'm testing with that. I'm also testing with doing the homepage is optimized for one city, and then the supporting location pages are just adjacent cities that are immediately adjacent. But so far, this is the one that performs the best. Okay, but what I'm getting at here, guys, is this right here, Louisville Felling Pro, is built on high level, but this one was built 2 years ago before we could actually optimize each individual element. Or maybe we could, and I just didn't know it. I don't know. But anyways, this one was done very poorly, right? Look at the heading tags. This one here, same exact site structure, also built in high level, but I spent 2 weeks, no kidding, re-optimizing and redesigning the site. And look at this one. Well, you're not supposed to have two H1s. Well, that's true. But the way that high level works is there's two versions of the site. It's not a responsive site. It is desktop and a mobile version. So there's two versions of the site. So there's two H1s, right? Because it's the same H1 on the desktop as it is in the mobile version. But you guys see how this is a much cleaner structure to the page because it's clean and it's relevant. We're not using H tags for styling, right? Same thing coming back here. That's what I spent today going through and cleaning this one up a bit too, because some of these images actually, because of Elementor, they were, and this whole site is built with short codes. If I showed you just real quick on the back end, if I show you the back end of it, you'll see what I mean. The entire site is built with short codes. Here's an example of the kind of CSV sheets that we use to create these sites. Literally, we just import these CSV sheets into these sites and it builds the sites. So you'll see like all these images and everything here are all short code based. And so some of these short codes had been selected. If, like, for example, this image, you can see that it was a heading element that it was inserted with the short code. Well, that was, or excuse me, this is the photo right here. This is the image element here, but it was inserted through a heading element. And this was actually optimized as an H2 just until today, because as I'm preparing the site clone file, I want to make sure that the page structure is 100% perfect. And so I spent 6 hours today going through this entire site, re-optimizing the image elements to turn them into paragraph tags instead of heading tags, so that I could demonstrate for, so that when our members, excuse me, start to build these sites, they will have perfect page structure and they won't have to go back through and re-optimize. So again, coming back to this, look at it, 100% relevant. And the way the hierarchy of these headings is done flawlessly. Right? And again, this site right here, well, I guarantee, and I put it in Zootrix today. I made a note specifically because I just re-optimized some of these elements to eliminate unnecessary heading tags for the images and things like that. My guess is it'll see a bump in rankings over the next week or so. I was actually submitting pages to Search Console for re-indexing as I was optimizing them. So I expect this to perform really, really well too. Anyway, it already is, but I bet it will perform better. So the next is the site structure, guys. We're going to move on to that one because I know we're going long. Oh, shit, I didn't realize what time it is. Damn, I haven't gotten any other questions yet. So site structure, guys, what I recommend is that you, depending on the site, in my case, it's a single kind of category business. Everything kind of falls under tree service. The additional category, arborist and tree surgeon, is basically synonymous with tree service. There's a lot of overlap. So it's basically a single category business. Now, site structure recommendations would change a bit if it's multiple categories. But today we don't have time to get into that, and that's mastermind training anyways. I'm probably sharing too much as it is, but I wanted to cover this because I know for a fact this is working better than anything else right now in local search. Full stop. This type of a structure for service area businesses anyways. This can be modified to also apply to storefront businesses. Okay. But site structure, guys, here's what's important. You want the location pages to link to service pages, and you want service pages to link to location pages. Fucking brilliant, right? I mean, look at it, guys. Like any one of these sites, if you just look at any one of the pages, let's go to any one of the service pages. We're not trying to rank service pages. We're not trying to rank service pages. By the way, that's something else I see all the time when I audit people's sites. They squeeze keywords into every fucking SEO title on the entire site. Every single SEO title, privacy policy, contact, about, every single page on the site has keywords squeezed into it. Why? What is the purpose of that? Somebody please explain to me why you have keywords squeezed in the SEO title or privacy policy page or contact us page or about us page or the blog archive page. Why do you squeeze keywords into that? I would really like to know what the purpose of that is for now. Now, several years ago, yeah, but guys, that's been long gone, and I see it all the time. And people say, "Well, my site's not performing really well." Well, because you got 18 pages on the site with the same freaking keywords in the SEO title. So Google doesn't know which page is the best one to rank, so it just doesn't rank any of them, right? Or it gives them impressions, but way, way down in the search results. And sometimes, and I run the core volatility, SERP volatility tester all the time during audits, and I see it all the time. And it's because you got 30 pages on your site that have the same freaking keywords, just variations of it, squeezed into the SEO title for no reason whatsoever. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And well, I don't understand why my site's not performing. Yeah, I don't either. Couldn't be the 30 pages targeting the same damn keywords, right? But the point here, guys, about the site structure is look at the page. I'm not trying to rank this page for the service. What I want to rank is the location page. So the service page links to each of the location pages. Each location page links to each of the service pages. It's one great big reciprocal link. This structure performs incredibly well because it tells Google very easily without all that bloat, without having, look, this site has 4 services and 5 location pages. Under normal kind of traditional SEO, local SEO, there would have been 20 pages, 4 times 5 plus the homepage and plus the other, contact about whatever. But there would have been 21 pages, homepage, then 4 times 5, which would have been 20 because we would have had tree removal Grundy, tree removal Raven, tree removal Van Sant, tree removal Oakwood, and then tree trimming. Once again, all of those pages. That's not necessary. That's bloat. It's redundancy. It makes you have to produce more content. You have to build more pages. Now there's more link building targets, all of that. It's completely unnecessary. Do it like this. I promise you, you will get significantly better results. If you can nail this page structure, site structure, and internal linking, you also have to understand topics and how to optimize the, topics, categories, etc. In my opinion, because the location pages, it's really important to know how to optimize for top level topics and categories, because that's how you rank the location pages for every search query associated with the tree service industry in that location, right? And so again, it's one great big reciprocal link. And think about that. When it comes to link building, it significantly reduces the cost for links, the need for links, the volume, number of links that you need. Because anytime I hit this site with a link, which this one only has 2 links, one of them was deleted, so it really only has 1 backlink. And again, what did I show you guys here? I mean, it's hard to argue with these types of results. I know it's a low competition area for all of you idiots out there that want to say, "Oh, it's not that's not the point of this site." Here was specifically to show how structure can work without any links. In more competitive areas, you're going to need some links. There's no question. As I just demonstrated with the Berkeley Felling Pro one, that one's a more competitive area. I've got 6 or 7 backlinks built to it. It's stabilized at an average of rank 12. So few more links, and I ought to be able to pop that up there, right? But the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is when we build links to this type of a site now, if I build a link to this page, guess what it does? It distributes across every other page, because it's not just distributing to the service pages that then are also linked to their other locations, right? So it's flowing through like a great big link wheel. It's like the link equity and the relevance comes in through whatever page, and it just cycles through the entire site over and over and over again, right? There's no exit point. And so again, and then I also reference the other area pages or location pages on the location page. So it doesn't matter which page I hit with links, it's going to flow to all other pages of the site. Does that make sense? So it's just a much more efficient way to build, guys. Less content, less pages, less time, less links needed, everything. And it performs incredibly well, right? So, I'm sorry I spent so much time on that, but I hope you guys got some value out of that. The last thing that I would say, the site structure, and that's kind of site structure and internal linking are kind of combined right there. But the point that I'm trying to make is, guys, for your site structure, and I guess really I should call this internal linking, and then site structure would be, and then I'm going to try to roll through the remaining questions. Site structure would be the homepage, right? Homepage should be optimized for brand, what I said, CTA, and in region, the broadest kind of geographic region that covers contains all of the areas that the business serves, who you are, what you do, where you do it. That is critically important. Put that in the SEO title. That sets the stage, especially the homepage, for what this, who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Then the other pages is where you specify exactly where you do it, exactly what you do on a per service basis, on a per location basis. But the homepage should specify who you are, what you do, and the broadest area in which you do all of your services, right? And that's why, again, guys, service pages should be optimized for service brand. You can omit any location modifier in service pages. Or if you wanted, you could take that broad regional term and add that into the service page titles, SEO titles, I mean, not H1s. And by the way, you can rearrange SEO titles and H1s. Seriously, you can swap those positions out and achieve damn near the same results. And I've tested a lot with that too. So again, it's kind of a preference thing. What do you want to appear in the search results? And that doesn't mean Google's going to show that. Your SEO title is what we want Google to show in the search results, but Google will sometimes change it and display the H1. And I've seen Google actually display the H2 in the search results because the H2, the first H2 was a better match for the searcher's query than the SEO title or the H1, but that page was still relevant to that searcher's query. So Google displayed an H2 in the SEO search results as the title instead of the H1, or excuse me, the SEO title or the H1. I've seen that happen, not very often, but I have seen that happen. But I've seen the H1 where Google will interchange the SEO title with the H1 because the H1 was more relevant to the query. And so again, you can interchange those and determine to play around with that. And that's what I've done with a lot of these test sites, guys, is tested different configurations to see what performs best. And I've kind of settled on, I like this one the best because I can make the title of the pages more like what people are used to seeing in the search results instead of trying to optimize for a topic term. Because tree maintenance is the broadest topic term in my industry. This gets far more keyword coverage than any other search phrase in the tree service industry, better more so than tree service, tree care, arborist, any of them. Tree maintenance gets by far the broadest keyword coverage. But I don't like to put this in the SEO title because most people don't search for that. And so they search for tree service, tree trimming, tree removal, and that page will rank. The tree maintenance page will rank. The tree maintenance plus city page will rank. And then it looks odd in the search results because it's not what people are used to seeing, if that makes sense. So I like to put the top level topic term in the H1 specifically so that I can optimize the SEO title more like what people are typically used to seeing. Okay, does that make sense? And so there is some freedom in this structure. We do have a little bit of leeway where we can play around and configure things slightly differently, if that's clear. 7-minute warning. Yeah, that's Chris. If you got to go, just go, dude. I'm gonna finish this and because I can't stop now. And then lastly is location pages. Okay, location pages you want to optimize for. If it depends. If it's there's actually two kind of location pages. So let me duplicate this and I'll show you. There's a location landing page, which is the landing page linked to from the GBP, right? So location landing page would be brand, GB category, the broadest that you can find. And sometimes you can find a broader category that kind of covers all of them. And then city and state, but it's really the location entity. However, Google, Wikipedia has it references is how I like to do it. So usually if you go to Wikipedia and you search for the city and it's got comma state spelled out, use that. Or you can use a state abbreviation. That's fine too. But if it doesn't have comma state, like Los Angeles or Denver, those or Miami, big cities that don't need that comma state, then you can just put the city name and that's fine. But I always like to reference it as Wikipedia has it. And then lastly, supporting, let's put supporting location pages. And here's where I would do top level topic term. Then I'm going to do city state. And then brand. This is how I optimize, guys. That's it right there. That's gold, guys, right there. That is it. If you're in the SEO business doing service area SEO or where you work with service area businesses, guys, this is it right here. That structure, that page structure, site structure, internal linking right there will I almost guarantee you guys, if you get that right, it will make everything easier for that client. You will be able to get significantly better results with less links, less resources, etc. If you nail this right here. So this is why I'm saying, guys, pick an industry and play around in that particular industry with test sites if you need to. Figure it out. Once you figure it out using this structure right here, I've just given you the blueprint. You can literally go out and play around with this structure in whatever industry. Don't try to cross 15 industries, guys. Pick one and apply it to that one industry and play around with different configurations of the SEO title H1, first H2, right? And see what performs the best. Once you get that, now you can scale to the moon, which is why I don't even give tree contractors any options anymore. This is the site they're getting. Full stop. That's it. I tell them, do you want pretty or do you want performance? I don't sell pretty. I sell performance. That's what this is. This is a performing site. And so this is what you're getting. There's no, if they don't want it, fine, go elsewhere. This is what you're getting because it works and it makes everything easier for us to get them results, right? Less keeps my margins higher because I have to spend less money on resources to get them ranked. So this is it. This is the golden ticket, guys, for service area businesses. I swear to God. And I'm that confident that I can say that because I know for a fact, guys, I've tested this across dozens and dozens of sites. And now across multiple industries because of the consulting that I've been doing. And it just works really, really well. All right.